Yo, it's your boy Uncle Pri, and this week on the Unfiltered Podcast, I want to talk about this roundabout concept. The idea of you need to break a cycle if you want different results. We don't paint it out too much in our heads in significant detail, but a number of us go through the same downs on the back end of repeating the same things over and over and over again, and hence why we get the same results, and subsequently on the back end of it we just get ourselves fed up, pissed off and quite upset. It can lead to being down, depressed. It can lead us to being quite miserable, grumpy. It can cause us to do some other kind of stupid shit too, on the back end of doing the same thing over and over again and seeing the same results, thinking that we're going to get something different. If I was to throw the example at you, for instance, as advancements in technology has developed over time, right? With your corporate job as an example, if you were doing your corporate job, whatever it entailed on pen and paper, it possibly wouldn't, it'd take a little bit longer, right? And if you said to yourself, you know what, I need to find a faster way of doing this, using a computer, using a laptop, using a tablet now, it might be a faster way of improving efficiency, saving stuff down, getting things more detailed, more accurate. Typing is a lot faster than writing. All of these things require a change. It requires you doing something completely different. Now, this is a very, 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 very basic standard example of what, but I feel like the point I'm trying to make is by making changes, it doesn't have to be drastic changes, but working towards something different will end up giving you a different result. If we look at, let's say, gym transformations as another example, if you do the same routine over and over and over and over again, what's the likelihood you're going to see different results? So I'll throw it out there. Let's say, for instance, your routine is very cardio based. You're on the treadmill, you're cycling, you're rowing, you're doing a spin class, HIIT workouts, whatever, right? You're doing all of this stuff, but your goal has now changed to wanting to be, you want to put on a bit more muscle, a bit more size. You want to build up a bit more strength. Well, consistently doing that routine of cardio isn't going to necessarily allow you to build bigger arms or a bigger chest or a bigger back if that's the goal you're trying to work towards. Do you understand? You possibly may need to introduce a number of exercises that include weight training, include some core workouts, i.e. pull-ups or push-ups, or do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, I want to get big legs, right? When I say big legs, I want to improve the size of my legs from being like drumsticks to a little bit bigger. For that to happen requires me incorporating a leg day, maybe sometimes incorporating 2 leg days a week. It incorporates changing up the structure of my routine to fit those leg days in, to make that a bit more beneficial. It means changing my diet of what was terrible and thinking KFC and Sam's, and if you know what Sam's is, but KFC, Sam's, standard chicken and chips was my form of protein and carbs, to being a bit more leaner chicken with vegetables, or throwing in maybe some other forms of protein, getting in a few more shakes and changing up how many shakes I had within a day, rather than 3 scoops in one sitting, 3 scoops over 3 different sittings. And it's changing that all up to get different results. And subsequently, you mix it up and you find a winning formula, you then get different results. And what I feel that people tend to do on the more basic examples of life, i.e. relationships, dating, career, family struggles, whatever it is, we keep doing the same thing, which isn't giving us the results we initially want. So if we want something different, we need to change our approach. So when it comes to, like, say, dating, I always tell my clients as an example, well, do you ever get vulnerable when it comes to dating? What do you mean by that? Do you ever, like, be very open and honest and just tell someone where you're coming from? No, like, that might put someone off. Yeah, it probably put people off. But the one person who actually feels the same way as you are, who's in the same boat as you are, the kind of person that you really want to attract, may fuck with that energy a lot more. You know what? I respect that highly. Thank you for telling me that. I am also in the same kind of position as you. That is so interesting. Wow. You essentially allow yourself to weed out the nonsense and find genuine connections, people who are really going to respect your energy a lot more and the effort that you're putting in. We don't think of it like that. If we look at it from a career perspective, if you're constantly doing the same thing over and over again, but you want to possibly apply for that promotion, you need to put yourself out there to apply for that promotion. You need to suggest it. You need to come up with a proposal to why you deserve it. You need to put yourself in a position where you're showing the work you're doing is adding value towards that. If they kick back on it and say, no, you're not ready, you need to ask, how can you be ready? You need to change the process. You need to change your 9 to 5, your daily routine, to emphasize why you deserve this. And I guarantee you put in that work, you may see different results. You may see them saying, okay, cool, in 3 months' time, yeah, we're definitely promoting you because you've proven that you can do X, Y, and Z to a high level. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So when you change up your formula, you see different results with your family or with your personal relationships. If you're constantly seeing arguments based on the person not hearing you out, or you're just bickering consistently, and you don't want to bicker, you just want to get to a place where you can not necessarily brush it under the carpet, but understand where each other's coming from and move forward with it, because that's the end goal. You know, you want to understand where you can improve and vice versa. You've got to try something different. You can't just keep firing back. You can't just keep attacking the person when they attack you. You have to learn to accept what they're saying, accept the fact that you possibly have hurt their feelings. You need to understand that it isn't going to be necessarily something quite pretty possibly to hear. All right? If someone criticizes you, it's not cool, but there may be a reason for it. There may be something even deeper behind that. You need to change that routine up where it's just like we need to get that out of our head. All right? Okay, cool. Hit me with it. What we got to say? I'm going to listen. Yeah, okay, cool. That sucks. All right, I am so sorry. Apologize. I'm so sorry for how I made you feel. I never meant to do that. I didn't even see it from that perspective. I'm so sorry. Tell me how that conversation then moves into another direction. Are you still going to get some sort of fighting kind of vibe? Or is it all just going to calm down? Are we going to get the hug we really want, the love we really want, the understanding we really want? Are they going to actually hear us now because we've heard them? And it's very, very interesting when we change that up, because it makes such a big difference. And I can't remember the quote exactly, and I should, because I've said it before in other episodes of the podcast. I think Einstein. I should Google it. Let's Google it. Like Albert Einstein, he says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you're constantly having arguments thinking that someone's going to understand you, I guarantee you're not going to get that result. If you think that you're going to get a lot bigger by just doing cardio and consistently putting yourself in a calorie deficit, if you think that you're going to get bigger and larger muscles or a bigger chest by just working on your legs consistently, you've got to think a bit outside of think a bit more realistic. You need to change it up a little bit. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And I put this one out there as an episode for people to really think about, because it's like you constantly have to learn and evolve. And I feel sometimes when things don't work out in our way, when we try and change up the formula, it's a case of, well, let me just go back to what I know, what kind of did used to work. That's not the answer. The answer is to understand that, okay, cool, you may change it up and it doesn't work the first time round, but what is it that you can do the second time round? What else can you learn to explore? What else can you try? And there is this thing that we learn at school in regards to trial and error, right? There is some validity in, like, you have to consistently put yourself out there, trying different things and trying to understand what is going to work for you to get somewhere. There are a number of quotes around, like, say, the whole idea of the light bulb, right? So Thomas Edison, he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. I never failed once at making a light bulb. I just found 99 ways not to make one. And it's like, you have to understand that whatever it is that you try and change with your formula right now, it may not give you the results that you want, but it's okay. Well, that doesn't work. Let me just take that out, put that in, see if that makes a difference. Test it out. Does that work? No. Okay, cool. Put it in. Ooh, we're seeing better results now. If I now remove that part of it and put this part back in, and boom. I gave an example about, let's say, food diet. If I realized that, let's say, 2,000 calories was going to be my target for the day to help me see a certain number of results, right? But I had 1,000 in the morning, 500 at lunch, 500 at dinner, and I felt very tired and not really energetic, couldn't really get through the day, couldn't really get through a workout. I may have to try and think of a different approach. Maybe it's a case of, well, let's break down the morning and have a little bit less, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, boom. And maybe that keeps me going a little bit better. Maybe that's the formula. Maybe it's, all right, okay, cool, 2,000 calories, but I definitely need to take out some proteins and throw in some more carbs because I need that energy. Or the flip side of it, I need to throw in more protein because I need that muscle recovery, or whatever it is. Right? I'm not like the biggest expert when it comes to the gym and calories and nutrition and stuff, but things that I have learned across my journey have helped me now dictate what I do in regards to my fitness regime. And the same thing applies in regards to your career. Things that I've learned about maybe being yourself versus being someone you're not, what kind of responses and results that provides in regards to the work environment. The podcast, you know, I have learned a number of ways. Like I'm in the old studio right now recording. Before, I mean, you'll see other episodes, I'm in the other studio, you know. I've learned ways in making sure that my podcast keeps running in a certain way. And the content I put out works for me, not necessarily works to appeal other people. It's just figuring that stuff out, all right? We hear it. If you're a content creator, you probably hear it enough times as well in this whole concept of the algorithm. The algorithm's consistently changing. On Instagram, the algorithm changes. 1 minute it's posting photos with captions and then hashtags and then reels and short form content, and then it's longer form content, or it's a case of they want to promote this type of video or this type of picture, or like it consistently changes. Stories are now the big thing, or it's adding polls and getting more engagement that way, and it's nuts, right? It is weird. Like if you're an Instagrammer and a TikToker, I'm not sure if anyone else has realized this, but if you try and put a TikTok video on your Instagram story, the views are a little bit limited. So there are algorithms in place. The technology picks up on these things, and it's a case of, right, well, cool. You need to find a way which is going to work for you. So if you're trying to build up a platform, you need to think, all right, okay, cool. The algorithm is telling me I need to do this. At the moment, I am doing that. So I obviously need to change something so I can get and start doing this, so that it subsequently gets me those better results I want to see versus what this is currently doing. You have to change your algorithm up, essentially. You need to change your formula. So I think I put a post about it before. X plus Y equals your result. And if the variable X isn't adding any weight towards that result, maybe you need to change it up and do A plus Y equals your result. And you need to keep finding, you need to add something to the formula, you need to multiply something, take something away, you need to divide, you need to introduce other variables and stuff. And it's a case of consistently changing something to get to a result, rather than doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same bullshit you don't want to see. It's so demoralizing when people do that over and over again. And when they finally realize, shit, I've been doing this consistently. Shit, this is the reason why I'm upset. This is the reason why I'm depressed. This is the reason why my relationships aren't successful. This is the reason why I can never get that promotion at work. This is the reason why we consistently argue at home. Boom. What are you going to do to change about it now? How are you going to get that little bit closer? Anyway, just want to leave that out there. Just a little gem on another episode of the podcast where we drop a little bit of motivation and a bit of drive. And yeah, I hope that's added value. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And it's been your boy Uncle Pre, and I'm signing out. Peace.